Okay, welcome, ladies, to this webinar. This free masterclass is how to accelerate your business in 90 days. So I thought I wanted to just sort of tell my story a little bit because it's been like a little whirlwind. I'm not sure if you followed my story, but the last sort of 90 days were just literally crazy because it took me a long time for actually finding a direction in my business and then really get some traction. And I actually succeeded, and I actually wanted to tell you a little bit about what I actually did. And I believe that everyone can do this. And it's all, it's not what you think it is. Of course, we have some strategies. Of course, there are business processes that you can put in place. And of course, this is actually what I do teach in my business as well. But I also want to show you a couple of the other sides and the other things that I have discovered. And mainly I've discovered things about myself. So what we're going to discuss today, first and foremost, I just want to say one thing. This is what I discovered. Step into your power. Be surprised to find out that all the answers are actually within you. I mean, literally, you'd be really, really surprised. The answers are within all of us, okay? So, and I'll tell you why, okay? I'll tell you a little bit more about my story first, and then you will see what's actually happened and that the answers actually came within me, from within me. So I'm Sabine Matharu. I'm the founder of Reach for Greatness, and I'm also the host of Reach for Greatness TV and The Club. And I'm the creator of Fast Track Business Launcher and the Accelerator Programs. Now, for me, I had Reach for Greatness. And if you look at the top right-hand side of the slide, you may see this logo, right? I had this logo for quite a while. And it's actually been 2 years since I've registered the name. And I wasn't really living the brand. I really wasn't for a long time. Okay, so until I listened to what it was that I wanted to do in my business, how I wanted to run my business, and who I wanted to be, because for a long time I wasn't who I was. Literally, I thought I needed to be someone else. And I don't know if you ladies, you can relate to that you think you need to be someone else, and you kind of compare yourself to many other people, that may be in your type of business. Then just leave me a comment and let me know whether this is something that you can relate to, because for a long time this has been like my main block. And still, I know we see all this all the time. We see all these other people on Facebook and we compare ourselves with them. Now, for me, Reach for Greatness is a platform to help women find their direction in business and in life. And this is always clear to me. It was just like, what wasn't clear is how I wanted to do this. So yes, I realized I am focusing on entrepreneurship. I like to work with women in business startup and growth. This is what I teach, and this, I think, what is best, what I do best, right? But I realized I wanted to connect with other women, and I wanted to invite other women speakers to come and share their zone of genius. And I wanted to actually create a platform, a wider platform. And this, for me, is the Reach for Greatness. This is how I've actually created the Reach for Greatness TV, which is a Facebook live show, and that's happening 2 to 3 times a month now. And then I've created the club, which is a monthly paid membership, where again, we have lots of different speakers and trainings going on as well. And that all of a sudden started to embody, and I realized this was really what I wanted to do all along, right? So my original background, if you think okay, where's she from? She's got maybe a bit of an accent. I am in the UK now and just live outside of London, but I've actually originally moved from Austria to the UK long time ago, and I only intended to be here for about a year or two, but then I kind of bumped into my now husband, so I stayed. So I was then in corporate world for over 15 years. That meant that I was traveling Monday to Fridays as I was a management consultant. And then I was also working in bigger corporations as part of the leadership team. And I was always doing sort of training and coaching and that kind of stuff. And I really, really enjoyed that. But when I had my children, I absolutely didn't fit into that box anymore, because my employer wanted me to go back full time, and I was already doing lots of overtime, and I just felt really like lost. And what happened was, literally after 9 months, as my first boy was 9 months, I actually had to go back to work. And then I had to actually give my 9-month-old baby into care. And that meant, well, it meant like a lot of money, like, you know, it depends on what kind of salary you're on. That could sometimes mean that you just break even because you are paying for childcare. And then B, it meant that I actually kind of missed quite some important moments, like his first steps, or when he was sort of learning some new words. And it really, really hurt me, because literally I was in this environment, in this big open plan office with a very, very prestigious company. It was just an amazing company, yeah. But I just felt like I was out of place. And my thoughts during the day was like, what am I doing here? Why am I not with my child at home and enjoying those moments? There is always a time and a place to actually go back to work and do that, but for me it was just too early. Then I actually endured the time, and I saw some of the other women that were also, let's say, very involved with their careers in sort of similar senior positions. They have very similar sort of struggles inside the corporate, and feelings around them being in this sort of place, and you know, because they were always talking about their babies and what they're going to do when they got home or on the weekends. So it almost felt like they thought that they didn't have any other choice. And then I thought, well, I think there are other choices. And literally I didn't know what it was. I mean, of course, we're all sort of going through the days, and it's like mundane, sort of Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and you get paid at the end of the month. But I always thought there must be something more, there must be a bigger vision. So when I had my second child, which was quite soon after my first, I decided enough is enough. I'm going to venture and do something on my own. And of course, I had all the skill sets from corporate, and that's probably the easiest to actually go and do something similar as a contractor. And this is what I was doing for quite a long time. But again, I was like, oh, I'm not really making the impact that I want to make. I really want to, teach other women. And because I've been struggling so much putting that business together, and it's almost like an overwhelm in terms of what you need to learn, what you need to know, all these sort of technology bits and pieces, how they fit together, and how to reach more people and your ideal customers. I was so totally confused. And I thought, well, there must be something where, I, as a coach or a program that I can actually enroll into and really get everything that I need without being overwhelmed. Because by that time I had 2 small children, and I was still nursing my second when I was really thinking about going online and doing more stuff and changing my direction. And also I had a tough time because I met the wrong people, I met the wrong coaches, I enrolled in programs that were totally wrong for me. And at the time, I was in programs where I was just being treated as a number. And yeah, I didn't really get out what I needed. To the point where I was struggling so much that my husband actually told me to get a proper job. And that really, really hurt. So I decided, right, okay, that's sort of the last push. I'm going to have to give it the last push. And that journey actually started end of last year, where I was then looking for a new place online, where I actually moved away from the wrong people. And I wanted to actually connect with myself, truly connect with myself. And that's where all the things for me came together. So, well, if this is you as well, like where I was before things came together, like you may have started a business, which I did, and I thought, well, I had a business. You may have bought the courses, you may have watched all the videos and everything that was free, and downloaded all these freebies, and chasing all these shiny objects, and being on tons of email lists, and don't even know where to get started anymore. I thought I can't start a business without a website or professional pictures, which was absolutely silly, because it actually stopped me from going out there, being myself, and just connecting and having fun. I was chasing this website, and unfortunately I had to go through 3 web designers, because the the first to actually let me down, and it took me a whole year to actually get back up and running, and it was just really blocking me. So don't make that mistake. You don't need to start, you don't need a fancy professional photo shoot or fancy website. It's a nice thing to have, but it's not everything that you need in a business. All you need is you, and that's why I'm saying what I said before. Your answers are within you. They're not going to be in a fancy website or in a professional pictures. They're not going to be the answers. Of course, it's great to have, and of course, I guess if you ladies, probably wouldn't be here if you maybe not saw my website or a couple of posts on social media that I'm sort of presenting myself in a certain way, but it's not everything. And yeah, I was I had all these fancy sales funnels ready and freebies and opt-ins, and I'm like, okay, but no one's opting in. Again, I wasn't visible. I wasn't actually going out there and sort of showing the world what I wanted to do, who I was, and hence no one came to actually download my freebies and went into my sales funnels, got these emails and everything else. I had it all there. But again, it was a lot of work, and again, it's not needed. It's not needed, not initially. So yeah, I thought like the clients should be coming, to me, of course, if I only just, post on social media platforms, and then they will just lie on my feet, right? They're just going to come. They're just going to flood in. Wouldn't that be wonderful, right? That would be super wonderful. But unfortunately, social media is changing, or maybe fortunately, and I've actually just looked at what are the changes that Facebook's bringing in, and of course it's bringing in higher quality. Facebook wants higher quality posts. They don't just want people to post their links on their profiles. It's about adding value and having a proper conversation and creating relationships. That's what Facebook wants. And I think this is probably the better way to actually build a tribe and build up your reputation and build up, the trust and the like factor for the people that actually potentially going to come and buy from you. Yeah, it's about building that relationship first in a manner that's not like spammy, like every day there's a post with a link and come and join this, do this, do this. And I like that myself much better as well. But I didn't know that back then. I didn't. So if this is you and this resonates with you as well, then just say yes, because I want to know that you are on the right place. I'll have a look at the chat as well. So if you think you're in the right place, if you had similar sort of experiences, then obviously I'd like to know about it as well. If you've been through, courses or had sort of advice that didn't fit your business, then let me know. So yeah, I was the same. So as I said, I suffered, and I think others don't need to suffer. And I want you to jump over your own shadow. I want to help you to jump over your own shadow, and not to think you need all these things in place, because it isn't necessary. There's a time and a place, yes, but it's about simplifying your business and just doing what you need to do right now and not think about 3 months ahead. So I want to help you to put the 3 fundamental steps in place today, okay? And then they're very simple. That will help you to accelerate your business in 90 days. So Gia says, I wasted 4 years listening to generic advice, not anymore. Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes we've got to kind of just shut off a little bit and then just stay in your lane and just do what you think. And again, it comes back to you have the answers, all the answers within you. You will know which path you want to go. And it's about less looking at what others are doing. I mean, yes, sometimes I say, look, just have a look at, how someone's video is structured. If I think it's a really good message and a good video, yes, sometimes we can actually do that. But to really compare ourselves every single day and to then actually think, oh, they're much better than me and nobody wants to listen to me, or there's so many people doing the same sort of thing than me, well, who's going to actually want to work with me, then that's when it gets a bit sort of damaging, isn't it? When some great background noises. That's when you have an open window. So yeah, and I look at structure to see how I can do things better. Yeah, and I think some structure is good. And, you know, I'm totally the structure person, because I used to be this project and process manager in the big corporate. So absolutely structure is needed. But I had so much structure in my business that I completely had forgotten my energetic side. I'd never really stopped and really listened to what it was that I did best and that I delivered best. So I'm coming already to the first step. Step one, it's what's my magic? This was my first question when I kind of just stopped. It's almost like I just wanted to stop the world for a second, because I had hustled so much. I put websites together. I've been putting all these funnels in place, but then still things didn't work. So I had to stop and ask myself, what is my magic? What is it truly that I do best, which others may not do in that sense, right? And then I asked myself, how do I want to do this business? Okay, so there may be questions, do I want to work from home? Do I want to purely work online? Do I want to cater for lots of one-to-one clients, or do I want to leverage the internet, or whatever it is? What are your boundaries? Again, because I was working, and probably I'm still working too much, because I am being inundated with lots of requests at the moment, which is the good thing. But I guess when you are spending lots of time planning around your business, maybe doing stuff that doesn't really bring in the sales, like tweaking your website, this kind of stuff, you can probably just cut that all out and just rethink what are the real value add things that you need to do in business. And these are actually the steps that I'm telling you about today. Yeah, and then who am I at heart? I mean, for me, that was a great starting point. Who am I at heart? I'm a kind, a friendly person, and I'm almost like, I want to make lots of friendships. I want to bring people together. I want to lift them up, and I want to encourage them and help them on their journey to success. That's really what I discovered for myself. And then, of course, my next step was, well, if this is me, if this is my magic, then who are my ideal clients, and what are problems that I can solve? So how do you go about that? So there's 3 steps to this, so sub-steps of step 1. Firstly, ask yourself, what keeps your ideal client up at night? And there's a couple of levels. That level that you need to explore is that why, like the vision. I could tell you my why was to get away from the corporate and being able to work around my children and being able to see my little ones grow up and replace my income. Yeah, so that's what, and of course what kept me up at night is like, how can I replace my income doing what I love doing? That's the level. That's like the soft, the feeling kind of level that you need to address for clients. And of course I could have said, hey, I help you build massive sales funnels and start your business and put your message in place and your Facebook ads. But of course these are only like the things that you obviously put in place to get to your vision. This is like, of course, are the nuts and bolts. But the long-term vision, what is that for your client? Do they want to feel, of course, nowadays we say they want to feel more happy, but maybe it's like you want to feel more fulfilled so that you can spend more time with your family, so that you are more healthy. Like, for example, with weight loss, I actually realized, oh my gosh, for those, like one of my clients is in weight loss, and we brainstormed and said, oh my gosh, can you imagine your client could actually die much sooner if they are overweight. So that means that they may be missing out on time with their family or their grandchildren later on. I'm just showing you as an example in terms of what is it really, how can you really get under the skin of what your client, really wants to achieve and what actually keeps them up at night. So for example, for me, it was my clients want to create a business working on their own terms and replacing their corporate income so that they can feel more fulfilled, more work flexibly around their children, and be their own boss, make more money than even in their corporate job. Because I was thinking about helping women who are working online, because online, you can really leverage your income, and it's not about selling hours in the day. So it's quite possible to actually exceed even your corporate income. So step 2, it's about attracting your ideal clients, and there's 2 things around them. So first, for me, it was like calling them in and connecting with the energy and actually coming down to who are they in terms of the personal characteristics. Okay, we probably all know this, the generic customer avatar, which is maybe you are talking to females who are between the ages of 30 and 60, whose hobbies are X, Y, and Z. Yeah, so we actually, of course, we probably know about those characteristics. But now again, I went a level deeper, because I realized, and now I believe there is a universe, a bigger thing out there that actually helps you getting the things that you want in your life. Now, I'm not a manifestation coach or anything like this. I'm actually, I'm actually converted now because I've been listening to ladies like this, and I'm like, wow, this is really true. And they tell me that, when you find things around the house like feathers, that's like, I think Lana would know, like these are messages from the universe or from the angels, right? And I'm finding feathers everywhere at the moment, and I have all these signs and things I see all of a sudden that I didn't see before, which is absolutely, I'm amazed. So I really do believe there is another level, and I think we all need to pull on that level and really start to believe in that and being able to call in that energy of your ideal customer. So it's about naming them on your imaginary list. And then I was also calling those that I don't want to call in. Okay, and it's a really useful exercise. So for example, this is what I wrote. What do I expect my ideal client to be? I'd like my ideal client to be willing to invest in me. So once, we have coming for coaching or to have you, be reliable, pay on time, do their work as promised, have a growth mindset, and always seek for solutions and improvements, and also appreciate me. And they are also giving, and they're also loving women, and they really, vibrate with my positive energy, and they're full of excitement to move to the next level, right? When you read this list, and you can do your own list for your own clients, it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I want to work with women like this. I want to surround myself with women like this that really appreciate me. I want to build a tribe that praises me, and I had this time all of a sudden when I got messages right, left and center from ladies telling me, hey, what you're building is amazing. I love your energy. I really love your project. How can I get involved more? And I swear every day I had like 4 or 5 messages. I still have messages coming in, but it just sort of opened up like a floodgate once I knew what my magic was. Then I actually created the Reach for Greatness TV. I started to then reach out and started to talk to women about my vision. And it just really opened up. And only those kind of women actually were attracted to me for some reason. It was just magical. And then, of course, I did a list, like, what is it that I don't want, right? I don't want my ideal client to not see the value. They don't want to invest in themselves. Obviously, if they don't want to invest in myself, they probably don't want to invest in themselves, or they just want to be freebie seekers. They may not be reliable. They cancel, they don't show up. They don't do the work. They may blame others and not seek solutions. They pay late. They don't follow through. They have a closed mindset, and they may even moan or bitch, even on social media. So those are, for me, are quite vibing very negatively, and I didn't want that. So I actually also wrote down those values that I didn't want. And another note is like, if there's something on this list of your client that you don't want, and that actually is something that you do, like for example, if you yourself are a freebie seeker, but you don't want your clients to be a freebie seeker, because of course you want your clients to come and pay for your services and you want them to appreciate you, then there is a bit of a mismatch, and that may actually cause some distraction or some blocks, because obviously you don't want to invest, or you paying others late. Maybe your client is going to pay you late as well. And I'm not making this up, because I had this very experience myself. I wasn't paying late myself, but one of my clients was paying me late, and I've just asked her what it was, and then she said that her own clients were paying her late as well. So that was a really interesting discovery. And step 3, which is the final step I'm going to reveal to you today, is about now taking aligned action. And I called it aligned action because obviously we started off with, thinking about how do we want to run our businesses, what's the magic, and then we continue to think about our ideal clients, what keeps them up at night, what kind of solutions can we provide to them, and who are the people that we truly want to serve. Because now you're going to be aligned with whatever action you want to take. And of course, as much as I would like to call in the universe for bringing me people and open up the floodgates, I think there's still an action that we all need to take. And that doesn't need to be hard. And it doesn't need to be, spammy in some sort of way. Okay? It's about reaching out in a way that feels good. When you reach out, be in a place where you want to serve others, where you having fun, and you're not thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to make a phone call, or I now need to do a Facebook Live, I don't know what I'm going to say, you start thinking, oh, it feels a bit icky, I don't want to sell something, or they may not want this thing, right? So it's about, don't worry, you're there to provide a value, show up for who you are, and be true to yourself. And that's what I'm doing tonight, right? Of course, it was an evening and it's really hot in the UK, but I knew that I had, that I've got a group of ladies that I really want to serve, and they were really looking forward to come onto this masterclass today. So of course I'm showing up, and of course I want to give it all, right? Because you all deserve it. And of course I've reached out to you, or you reached out to me, where you saw what I was doing on Facebook, the value that I was giving. The TV, maybe you've seen some of the Reach for Greatness TVs, which is all about value. It's all about featuring women, and we are sharing stories and sharing what we do, right? So reach out and don't be afraid. Don't be scared. And another thing is, keep yourself accountable. See, this is where the project manager comes in. Yeah, this is my little project manager in my head. Yes, you can say, yeah, I'm going to reach out, but it's like, yeah, I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'll do it the day after. So what I'm telling my clients to do is to make a plan, like a 90-day plan. Where do you want to be in 90 days? Okay, then work backwards. So you know how many people you want to reach out to, how many people you want to convert into paying clients, for example. So there's my little project manager. Of course, there's some numbers behind that as well, but it can feel aligned still. And how do you keep yourself accountable? Well, I guess you could have an accountability partner, so you kind of check in with each other every week at the end of the week. So have you done what you said you're going to do? Or I have I actually just use Google Calendar, and I just set myself a little reminder and say, well, have an hour of just reaching out and following up every single day as much as possible. So it always flashes up on my screen. Some days it doesn't quite happen the way I want it to happen, but it's there. It's about, just having some system. And of course, there are other project management systems that you could deploy. But still, it's about, doing it as well, not just planning to do it. Okay? Yeah, and perhaps to help you with this accountability, set a goal and perhaps even challenge yourself. Like one of my clients, and I'll actually tell you the story in a second. We set her reach out to 90 women in 90 days. So that was her little challenge, and it was quite a lot of fun because she came to me. She said, "Oh, I'm not feeling good about just sort of messaging people. It just sounds like really spammy. This is not me. I don't want to have a bad reputation online." So we actually found a way that made her feel really good about it, and she set herself this challenge, and she was like really, really proud about that. Yeah. So what is aligned action? It's about creating an offer that will resonate and that will solve your customer's problem. Of course, you want to, when you reach out, you want to have something somewhere that you can say, hey, if you would like to know more, why don't you get on a call? I actually help women like you to do X, Y, and Z so that you can, and have that there. Deeply understand where they're coming from and just be human, like just be yourself. Like that's what I am now. It's like no more mask. I'm just being who I am, because you can't keep up a false sort of pretended sort of figure or trying to be a brand which you aren't. So just be human and make human connections and be honest. And then reach out and remember what your magic really is. And before you do that, you can actually just remember, this is why I'm doing this. This is how I can help my clients, and it feels good to be in this space. And as I already mentioned, don't just post on Facebook and wait for everything to happen or build your magical website. It's about really reaching out and making meaningful connections. And I don't know how many times I'm getting, I used to get more messages, from ladies who would just send me a link that they connect with me on Messenger, and then instantly would just say, here we go, have a look at what I'm offering. And then was like, but it would be nice just to say hello and what do you do? How can we support each other? Would you be interested to have a look at whatever? So and I already kind of said the examples, the things that I've created. I've got the Reach for Greatness TV, where women can come present what they do, and we actually, share some valuable insights, some training, and we do that live 2 to 3 times a month. And then at the back end, the women that were on the TV, they said, oh, we'd really love to have a space where we can continue to network, where we can continue to grow and even become more visible. So I've actually created the Greatness Club, which actually does just that. And of course, now I'm thinking, what's next? So I've got further projects in that, again, in the vein of helping other women to become more visible, to help them grow their businesses. It's about, possibly writing some books. Now we're doing speed networking events as well, which is online. So again, women can really connect and make some fabulous connections. And we're thinking about doing some offline events as well. So that's just an example of how I'm structuring my offers. So yes, and as I said before, I've invested all these previous coaching programs, things haven't worked. I didn't make the money back, and the teachings were so generic. Like, one of you ladies said, it was totally generic. And I felt like a number in the big sea of women, and I couldn't discuss my individual needs because I thought that would have been really important, because I'm not like everyone else, and I didn't want to be treated like everyone else. And my coach didn't understand me, because some of my coaches were male as well, so they weren't quite in the female space. And some of them I thought, oh, it was a bit of a waste of time and money. But obviously there's always a good, and I've got a lot of skill set throughout the years that I was training. So yeah, I'm not complaining, but of course these were my thoughts back then. So now I thought, well, what if I could put something together that would help women like me when I was there, when I had the children, when I was overwhelmed, when I felt like, oh my gosh, I needed a place to go to where someone understands me. Like, what if working with me, for example, I thought couldn't, that would mean that you invest in yourself in the right way. You have someone that understands you and provides individual support for your journey and your needs, makes you feel special, has time for one-to-one discussions, and teaches the things that you just need in your business right now to make things happen. And I was thinking, it would be great that my ladies would have a good chance to make the money back within the program, of course, with the disclaimer they need to do the work, but success is really, really important to me. So I just wanted to show some case studies in a moment, because I don't want, and there's not a waste of money working with me after all, because I wanted to let you ladies know that in September, so once everyone's back from their holidays and they really want to skyrocket their business, there is an opportunity to come on to an 8-week program with me to skyrocket your business, and it's called the Business Accelerator. So it's very early doors, obviously, and there are some fabulous bonuses if you wanted to come and join me in September, because that means you could also already start working with me throughout August on a one-to-one basis. So if you're interested to find out what we do through the 8 weeks, there is a link there, and of course you can reach out to me and we can book a call and have a more detailed discussion. There is a syllabus, but it's not that extremely rigorous. You will obviously learn everything you need to learn around accelerating your business, and we have obviously the opportunity to see what you do now, where you are right now, and what you then need. So that program is actually so flexible that, for example, if you want to run a webinar, then I'll help you put that webinar together and promote that webinar. And that's exactly, for example, what I did with one of my other clients. Okay, so that's Gloria. She took her business online because she wanted to retire. So she's offline hypnotherapist, but she wants to be more mobile. And she was completely tech phobic. She didn't even know how to run a webinar or do any Facebook Lives, or let alone actually putting any digital content out there. So literally she didn't know anything about that. So she then learned how to put her message together and connect with her ideal clients. And Gloria, bless her, she's gone away on a weekend trip, but she said, look, I really truly wanted to be there and give you a live testimonial. So she actually messaged me, and she was saying like that working with me, she said, as a business coach, has been the best business decision I've made. Before working with Sabine, I had paid for courses, training, business advice, but most of it was general, and it did not really seem to apply to my type of business and my own personality. With Sabine, you get a true individual service that fits in your business, your personal aims, and your personal strength. Not only that, she encourages you to keep growing and to open your eyes to opportunities that you would have never thought of before. I'm now more confident in my business ability, have more clients, and have a clear idea to where I want to take my business in the future. She has very good mind for business and processes. Yeah, that's what I said. But she manages to combine it with real warmth and strong ethics. I almost forgot she helps you in practical ways to conquer those media technology gremlins. I wholeheartedly recommend her services. So that's the fabulous Gloria. And Yeah, and as I said, she's already attracted her first clients, which already shows a great progress, right? So we put webinars together, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's like 3 people that booked a call with me like the day after," which is amazing. Yeah, and Shola was the other lady that came to me, who is a teacher, and she runs 2 centers, tuition centers. And she also wanted to take her programs, or some of her programs, online. And she had lots of ideas, and she's a very intelligent woman, strong leadership skills. But she just said, look, I'm so super stuck with technology. I'd like to do this webinar. I'd like to create an online program and really leverage some of my time. So I helped her with the lead generation and the creation of that webinar. And it was literally in 2 weeks. She was literally stuck. She said, yeah, I've set this webinar. It's out there now, but I haven't really figured out the technology. I haven't really done any preparation for it. I haven't even written the slides, nor have I actually reached out to anyone. So in 2 weeks, we've created all the emails, all the technology, and of course we just used the Zoom afterwards. I obviously helped her with that, and we generated 37 participants in 2 weeks. 37 women participated on that webinar, and then she actually launched her high-end program, and she 10x'd her investment with me. 10x just in those 3 weeks. That was amazing, and she's still doing more and more amazing things now. Yeah, so almost 10x back from the first month. And then Veronica, she is a fashion style coach, and she came to me, and she had created already her product offerings, but she was a bit hesitant. She goes, well, I'd like to launch my membership program in about 2 months. And then I said to her, well, why are you waiting for 2 months? I mean, it can be so super simple. You know, don't put blockers in place. Just go with the flow. Just go and do it, because you already have a free Facebook page and you already have a great following. So just tap into that. And that's what we did. And what we did is we actually created a 90-day strategy so that she could reach out in a way that actually felt good to her. Because she said, oh, I don't really want to, spam my people. I've already got this Facebook group and these women expecting all these free trainings from me every week. And I said, yeah, okay, let's just do it in a way that feels really, really good. So we completely restructured her strategy, and now she's got a 90-day plan to actually reach out to 90 women. And already in the first 2 weeks or so, she has already recruited about 10, 15 ladies into her paid membership, which again, I would say is like 10x her investment in me, which again is really, over the year, it's fabulous, right? And now we're also building a high-end program with her as well, where she wants to do some retreats. And again, there's a strategy that we're putting in place together that feels right for her. Yeah, so she created a membership site with several paying clients within weeks. That feels aligned, and she also feels at ease. And of course, she has now decided to take some holidays, but her strategy still works. Even if she's on holiday, she can still do things on the go, on the move, do some Facebook Lives here and there, reach out to a couple of ladies in her group, and so on. So that's the wonderful thing, because it's totally aligned with her and it's made for her, right? So as I said, yeah, it's an opportunity to come and join the Business Accelerator, which is an 8 weeks program to skyrocket your business. It is a hybrid, so you actually do get some one-to-one time with me, as well as a group program where we have weekly calls. But that's the beauty. See, I'm very, very fluid, and I'm there to help you in your business and give you that individual support, because I really don't want women to be like I was in these big programs where you were just a number, where your coach, you couldn't even ask them questions because they were so busy, or they overlooked, or you didn't have the opportunity. And I remember I was totally behind. So there, in these 8 weeks, there is no behind at all. Okay, so if you're interested to find out details and how much it costs and what payment plans are, and obviously I've got like bonuses as well. If you sign up like now, then there is an opportunity to work with me during August and already have some one-to-one sessions without any extra cost, right? So if that's of interest to you, you can just come and book yourself on one of the connection calls, which the link is right here on the bottom, or you just message me or email me, learnmoreabout.info/BA. And I think this concludes our presentation today. And I just noticed that Christina has joined a bit late, so I will have a replay. What I'll do is I'll just stop the recording.